Welcome back, trophy hunters. How's everyone doing today? Today we're taking a look at the brand newly released Maneater on the PlayStation 4. I've got a trophy platinum roadmap for you guys so you can get the platinum in the least amount of time, and so we know exactly what's required to platinum this very obscure shark game. Let's take a look at it, guys. So, as I said at the top, this is the Platinum Roadmap and Guide for Maneater, which is a game that released on the PlayStation Store last week. That was the 22nd of May, 2020. In Maneater, you play as a shark. You have to go around and do shark things, killing other animals, killing humans, eating people, evolving, and most of all, just collecting the ton of stuff. The game is a short game, but a grindy one. So you have to collect. It's a collectathon, essentially. You just have to collect and collect and collect and collect. But the game is cool. It's there's not a lot of meat to it. It's short, and there's just not much there. But the premise is interesting, being a shark and kind of going around through this open world, through all these different environments, attacking people and completing missions. It's cool. It's neat, and I had a really good time with it. However, it isn't quite there. It's not quite fleshed out enough to be like this amazing experience. On saying that though, the trophies are relatively easy, and because it's not too long, it doesn't kind of outstats welcome too much either. There are a ton of grindy and collectathon trophies though, so just keep that in mind. I'll say that up front now so you know what you're in for. So having a look at the roadmap, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 10 because realistically it's not an easy platinum. Just realized my light wasn't on that whole intro, and that's why it was so dark in the room. The platinum is a 2 out of 10. It's a really easy platinum. It's not going to be hard at all. It's not going to test you in any way, but it's going to take you around 11 hours to platinum this one. I've seen a couple of other estimates online which have been a little bit lower than that, but I think 11 hours is about right. There's no online trophies, there's no missable trophies, and there's no difficulty trophies. It's going to require one playthrough of the game, but there will be some backtracking as well because you can't collect all the collectibles when you get to those particular levels. You have to go back to them when you've unlocked your maximum shark or you've evolved your shark all the way, because they lock off particular areas to you. So you're going to have to still go back to levels as well. So there is a bit of backtracking there, but it's not a full playthrough again, if that makes sense. There's no chapter select, and there are no trophy stacks for this one. It's just the single stack. Now the steps to platinum, I've listed out these 3 steps here. The first being play through the game, ranking up your shark. So basically how the game works is that as you progress through the game, your shark level ranks up and your shark continues to grow, starting off as a pup or a baby shark. Oh, I don't get that song stuck in my head. And then finally evolving into a megalodon, I think was the last one. But you've got to evolve your shark all the way, and you'll do that as you progress through all the levels. So that's just play the game, essentially. The shark has a sonar ability which you can use, and the sonar ability shows you where all the collectibles are on the map. And there is a ton of them, so start this as soon as you can. Because this game's just a collectathon, the majority of the game you'll be just collecting stuff. So I would suggest doing that from the beginning onwards, because collecting stuff becomes super tedious and boring and long and time consuming, and there's a ton of collectibles on every single area in the game. So yeah, I would suggest doing that from the very get-go, and that's probably what you're going to be doing the majority of the game. Just keep progressing through the game, killing each region's boss. There's trophies for completing each region, and then killing the mini boss or boss battle on each region as well. So you've got to do all of those, and that's sort of your progress type trophies. There's also story trophies which unlock with those too. Step 2 is once your shark reaches a particular rank, so your max rank essentially, you can go back to areas in previous levels that you've passed and use your sonar ability to collect all the collectibles that were unobtainable to you at the time. So there'll be a bunch of stuff that you'll have to go through, and this is the backtracking element to the game. You'll need to go back through and play those areas again and complete them and sort of knock those off. And then the final step, once you've got all the collectibles and you've done that, is going back through all the regions and collecting everything if you haven't already done it. And then mastering all the regions, so basically 100%ing each of the different areas. And with that, if you haven't already done it, getting your shark's infamy rank to the max level as well. By this point, I think you probably would have, but if you need to do anything, you can grind that up a little bit too. So that's kind of like the main things there. As I mentioned, the majority of the trophies are for completing completing the story missions in in each of the different regions, defeating the bosses in each of the different regions. There's a set of objectives in each of the different regions which you have to complete, which you'll be doing in that final step, to kind of get 100% in each region as well, which will bump up your infamy rank and things like that too, and all the collectibles. But beyond kind of 100%ing each of the different regions and getting all the collectibles and finishing the story. Now, the notable trophies, there's only a couple of them that are worth pointing out, and they're the grinds anyway. Like, there's nothing in here that's complicated or that you're gonna miss per se. But the first is reached infamy level 10, and that's like I said, that's reaching max infamy level. You'll get this by the time you've done everything, but it doesn't necessarily come naturally. It's something you will have to grind towards at the end. Yeah, there's a few different ways of doing this, but it was basically just killing humans and boats and stuff, which kind of just push the infamy level up. And you do require a particular infamy level to progress to certain story missions as well. You'll need to get it to a certain point to be able to continue. The other trophies I want to call out are the 3 collectible trophies. That's for finding all landmarks, and there are so many landmarks. There's just so many of them, but you're just going to keep swimming through different areas finding them. There's the license plates that you have to collect, and there's the nutrient caches that you have to collect as well. And they're the 3 sort of collectibles, I guess, in the game, and they all have trophies associated with them too. So it's worth mentioning that. The reason I call them out specifically is because that's the majority of what you're doing in the game. I know I've said it a few times now, but the game is essentially just swimming to places, killing different things, attacking different things, eating fish, and collecting stuff. Like, that's kind of all there is to it. Yeah, I was really excited for this game when it came out because the trailers looked cool, and when you jump in and play it for the first time, it's a lot of fun, but it does kind of wear thin because there's not a huge amount to do after you've kind of had that initial like play session. And once you've played everything in the first area, you've kind of seen everything the game has to offer, which is a bit of a challenge. I think for me, that was probably the most disappointing part of it. But the platinum is easy, and it's quickly attainable as well. So, you know, there's that kind of flip side to things too. But yeah, that's all there is to it. That's pretty much all there is for the platinum. There's a couple of, like, if you go and look at the trophy list, there are trophies for finishing story missions and defeating bosses. So if you don't want the specific boss types and stuff spoiled for you, I wouldn't check them. But if you don't care about that, then yeah, go ahead and have a look at it. But hopefully this guide will be helpful for you guys getting your platinum. Let me know if you are going for the platinum for this one, or if you're playing it, you've played it, you're planning on playing it, and if this video was helpful for you. Hopefully it was. If it was, then don't forget to give the video a thumbs up as well, because the thumbs up helps me with the YouTube algorithm and gets more people to see the channel as well. If you're new and you've just discovered this video on the channel, then don't forget to subscribe, and you can check out some of the other trophy roadmaps on the channel. I've got a ton of other easy platinum trophy roadmaps available if you guys want to check them out as well. Alright guys, I'm going to have a nice evening to myself editing videos. Have a good night everybody. I will see you in the next video.